Well, I thought I could give Ryan Murphy one last chance to redeem himself after casting a Kardashian for one of his shows, and this new show just solidified my stance on his work post-Dahmer. Hey, what's up? Welcome, one and all, new and returning. I thought I was done with body horrors after The Substance, but the universe just keeps pulling me back into them somehow with no volition of my own. I don't know if I'm being pulled out by some sort of collective message about body image or toxic ideals about beauty, but I won't put myself on that pedestal or claim to be any sort of messenger of divinity. That is so ick and so not what this video is about. Today's conversation is about Ryan Murphy's newest rip-roaring mess. Gruesome satirical horror, The Beauty, now streaming on Hulu. It's been a long while since I've seen anything created by this man. And after he started casting popular celebrities like Kim Kardashian and Kaya Gerber, and other famous people on his shows that are clearly not actors, nonetheless good at acting, I just started tuning out anything that he made, and didn't dare to give any new works of his a chance. Because he made it pretty clear what he values as a show creator. Social clout and currency over talent and storytelling. But something in me was just really bugging the shit out of me to get into The Beauty. So what did I have the feminine urge to do? Your girl caved into the feminine urge to give this new show a viewing chance. Just to see for myself if Ryan Murphy can finally redeem himself as a show creator who is still capable of prioritizing the work of quality actors who can fully embody their characters and tell a compelling story that provokes feelings of empathy or fear in audience members. Or if he's still relying on physically attractive bodies of famous people that have no talent to carry the shows on their weak-breaking backs. So now, did The Beauty change my mind? Well, just keep watching. You'll find out. Now, I know I complained about Ryan Murphy casting people with no acting talent, but I don't think this counts, seeing as though she had no speaking lines and was only on camera for the first 3 to 5 minutes of the whole series. I didn't know until maybe like episode 9 or 10 that the model in the beginning was Bella Hadid. I just thought she was an actress that looked like Bella Hadid. I shouldn't be surprised that an actual runway model is playing a runway model who is rabid and thirsty as hell. I will give Homegirl credit for gulping down a nice mother load of H2O. It invoked an immense desire in me to grab my water bottle and chug some down for myself. So I'll give her some snaps for that. I'll give Bella Hadid some snaps for reminding me to stay vigorously hydrated. Thanks, Bella Hadid. But honestly, I feel like the episodes up until Byron Forrest's transformation from old bastardly geezer to Calvin Klein underwear model were just so jumbled and hard to get hooked on. Up until that point, it just seemed like the show had no centrality, and the characters' backstories were lacking, leading their motivations to be foggy and unwarranted. It's like we were just shown a bunch of fucked up individuals in different parts of the world, trying to find the source of a virally transmitted STD that killed people and shut it down, or there was someone somewhere getting infected with it only to be immediately killed by assassin. It just felt like it was taking so fucking long to get to the meat of the show, the problem and the proposed solution. And I was so not feeling the friends with benefits turned love story that was going on between Jordan and Cooper. Like, what the fuck was that? I can tell you from personal experience that a friend with benefits never turns into a real romantic relationship like that. If you're gonna write about friends with benefits turning into lovers for a TV show, that's season 3 or season 4 material, not season 1 material. We didn't get to see Jordan and Cooper be in denial of their feelings long enough in order for us to root for them and finally make it an official romantic partnership already. It was just like, we have sex, you might die. By the way, let me dump the L word on you real quick. In the highly likely event that one of us dies. So a relationship will never happen anyway. A win-win for both of us. The building of the actual romance was just so rushed. And if you really take a closer look at the nature of their work relationship, it's really just a trauma bond, formed out of existential fear for the other's safety. It's like they tricked themselves into thinking they were romantically in love with each other out of fear that the other one was on the brink of mortality, or the benefits of their ongoing sexual flings will be lost permanently in some other way. I simply don't think these characters are too avoidant, that are afraid of intimacy or letting someone in. They're just afraid of losing access to each other. So no, I don't buy the awkwardly timed skin-crawling I love yous from either of them, or think that this is a, oh how sweet love story. I honestly honestly think it's just inevitable at this point. It almost seems like a contractual requirement for an Evan Peters character in a Ryan Murphy show to have a ship-worthy romance with someone in order to get people to watch whatever he puts out. I mean, this is the kind of thing that grates my nerves, not only with Ryan Murphy and Evan Peters collabs, but with just unnecessary love interests and happily ever after arcs in general. I mean, not every single TV show or movie needs to have two characters falling in love all the time. But back to the much unneeded, so disconcerting love story of FBI agents Jordan and Cooper. On a similar note, Jordan and Cooper as people are so not suited to be enforcers of the law because they're both so easily influenced by their emotions. Jordan letting her slight rejection from Cooper at the prospect of a romantic partnership one day clouds her judgment and numbs her emotional pain by sleeping with a random stranger, knowing goddamn well there's a killer STD spreading around, and Cooper willingly infecting himself with the virus so he can get the antidote, but only if it's transferred by his beloved Jordan. I'm not saying that in order to be in law enforcement that you have to be heartless or unfeeling. Absolutely not. It's natural and human to have empathy for others and show emotion because it means you have a heart. That is if you're not a psycho. But I feel like if it is your job to assert legal authority in the face of bad people, or you're investigating a crime that can elicit a strong emotional response, a certain temperament of detachment and level-headedness is required in order to do the job efficiently. Like, I read this book a while back called Lady in the Woods, and one of the characters in the book is a cop. And at one point, this character talks about finding the balance between not letting the horrors of humanity that she witnesses as a cop and doing her job without personal emotion swaying her calls of judgment as a professional. But as far as Jordan and Cooper, they have the weapon and combat training to do the job well. They just let their emotional biases get in the way. And look where that got them. This is why you don't get involved with coworkers, people. I mean, there's a myriad of reasons why you shouldn't get involved with your coworkers, but this is just one. Maybe you wouldn't get the exact same consequences. But anyway, let's continue. And since we're on the topic of the deed, I think this show is the most effective form of birth control I've seen in a while. Like, I don't care if I could look younger by letting you have your way with me. Let me age gracefully. And if I want to blow up, I will make that decision on my own and it will be on my own terms. I do like how the show touched on the darker sides of pretty privilege. Like with Jordan talking about how at first she really enjoyed the extra attention she got by looking like a Victoria's Secret model. People would smile at her, say hi to her, open doors for her, give her flowers. But after a while, there would be times where she just wanted to be alone at the bar, and horny incels would harass her. And when she fought back against being touched inappropriately, she would be called a crazy bitch for just defending herself. I mean, and that seems to be a pretty accurate experience based on the accounts of women I know who have pretty privilege, or those I've seen online talking about having pretty privilege. But more importantly, something I've always wanted to know. How do you get assigned pretty privilege? I feel like someone else has to tell you you have pretty privilege, because it sounds pretty vain and self-obsessed to give it to yourself. I don't know, if you've ever been told you have pretty privilege, let me know how you got it and what your overall experience has been going through the motions of life. But me personally, I would hate to have it, because when I'm out in public amongst strangers and crowds, I want to be left the fuck alone. I don't want any attention, positive or negative. I like to be my little invisible protective bubble, counting down the moments till I get home and can get back into gremlin mode. Like, I'm really just up in this Kroger trying to get some cereal and bananas and go the fuck on home. I'm just really sitting here trying to find out if science has invented a way for me to be invisible in public. And if you're the same way, then this channel's for you, and I encourage you to listen to that feminine urge of yours to click the subscribe button. But anywho, something I really gotta talk about is the way the show tried to separate Chads from incels, as if one is better than the other. But here's the real deal. Chads are still incels, just with prettier packaging. Both are sexist, misogynistic, think they're the superior sex, and think they're the slickest ladies man that knows how to woo the ladies with their overblown ego and their incessant allergy to femininity and softness. Like, look at Jeremy. He may have changed his exterior, but even after he got infected with the beauty STD, he was still ugly on the inside. And really the only scary thing about this show that's gonna be haunting my nightmares for a while is Ben Platt running down the hall with Stigmata screaming, "Help me! Help me!" If you don't know what Stigmata is, just do a quick Google search at your own risk. Now, there's no way I can prove this since I don't know the guy. It wouldn't surprise me if Ashton Kutcher isn't actually acting in this and is just playing himself as Byron Forrest. Not the cold-blooded killing sociopathic part, but the rich, arrogant millionaire part. I mean, I know this is supposed to be his big comeback, since a lot of people hate him, but it seems the public still hasn't forgiven him. And I definitely don't think that participating in a Ryan Murphy horror show, where his character is the biggest douchebag on planet Earth, and is a money-hungry, lustful, psychopathic killer, did him any favors for winning back the good graces of the people. I don't know, maybe like a family-friendly comedy would have been a better option? I don't know. I'm not a PR person, so I don't know what shit about what. I don't know shit about what captures the hearts of audiences again post-cancellation or post-scandal. But on a similar note, I think Byron Forrest had the lamest, insincere character arc I've ever seen. Like, all of a sudden when his wife transforms into a New York City socialite hottie, then he cares about her and loves her, and is so distraught by her attempting to off herself that he takes the beauty off the market.
Shut your bitch ass up!
Please. Give me a fucking break. It's not surprising seeing who he was before. But let's just be real up in this shit. If she had tried to unalive herself when she looked her real age, he would have laughed and rejoiced and proclaimed freedom from the top of his swanky mansion, which only further backs up the point I made earlier about Chads and incels being the same, just different decorum. But you know what my biggest and most positive takeaway was from this show? That there is no way in hell I can take a grown man running down the stairs in a long flowing trench coat with any ounce of seriousness. There is just something so funny about a grown-ass man running in a long trench coat or cape flailing in the wind. It literally reminds me of Cinderella running away from the prince to make it home by the stroke of midnight before the magic spell wears off. Or the evil queen from Snow White running down the stairs of the castle dungeon to go turn herself into an old apple-hoarding hag. But other than that, my faith in Ryan Murphy has not been restored, and The Beauty was a cringe watch with its slow start, unlikable characters, and poorly paced plotline. But at the same time, I couldn't stop watching. I need to know if they ever find an absolute cure that makes the people injected or infected with the beauty get back to normal. It's like one of those shows that's so bad you don't want to take your eyes off it. Now, nothing's been confirmed yet about a season 2, but there's gotta be a season 2, right? I mean, we have to see what Cooper looks like after getting the alleged antidote to the beauty that made him look like a 12-year-old. Personally, I think if we do get a season 2, he's gonna look really deformed in the face and gigantic in height. And I can definitely see body parts not being in the right place, like having nipples for eyes, a finger for his nose, or something else graphically, animatonically incorrect. And am I gonna watch season 2? Yes, but I can wait. Anyway, that's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for being beautiful and watching, and thank you for being extra beautiful if you watched from beginning to end. But you know what would really make you the ultimate beauty? That if you vibed with me in my commentary, that you join my emotional support coven, especially if the coven season of AHS was your fave of the anthology. A Ryan Murphy show that is top tier. And I'm not gatekeeping it. It's not a hard coven to be initiated in. You just have to find the subscribe button right beneath this video and click it like this. Ping! And if you want to be one of the more loyal witches of the coven, then turn on the channel notifications by clicking that little bell icon, also below the video, that you have a better chance of getting the first flex with when every new bi-weekly video drops. Stay cool, stay fresh, and I'll see you next time.